Hey, what's up YouTube? I just got to my buddy Brett's house. Today we're going to be working on some racing go-karts. He bought a go-kart a couple months ago, and if all goes well, hopefully I'm buying me one today too. So anyway, he's got something he wants to show because he couldn't find a video of it on YouTube, and that's what we're going to do today. What you working on?
Clutches.
So we're going to be taking his clutch off today. And he's going to show everybody how to clean it.
The proper way.
Or what we think is the proper way.
For the most part. Grab my best friend.
What all do you have to take off? You got to take...
Well, I've already loosened the motor mounts, slid the motor back. Because this chain does not have a master link. It is pressed together. If you don't know, master links, they make things weaker. Then you get your best friend and untorque it. It's just a series of taking stuff apart. I try to do this with the seat in because I despise taking the seat out.
Well, it looks like it ain't that bad.
No,
to get to.
only if your motor, wider seat, number of different things. Maybe a bearing race.
What kind of clutch is this, Brett?
A Hilliard Flame.
A Hilliard Flame.
Yeah, I think the string big. I had the box on it. There it is. Alright. So, as you can see, the bearing has high temp bearing grease on it. Alright. So what I do is, normally I take the needle bearing, and what's in here is straight up WD-40. A lot of people don't know, it's an excellent cleaner. Then I'll take the bearing race, same thing, WD-40. Then let me go get my snap ring pliers. I'll do is turn the drum over. Snap ring out, and the gear comes out of the drum. You can change it on the Hilliards. I run a 12 tooth. And
What is this thing you're putting it in?
Harbor Freight Special, baby. Ultrasonic cleaner.
What's in the ultrasonic cleaner?
Straight up WD-40.
Just WD-40?
Mm-hmm. Then, if you run into black springs like I am, they're not fun to get out. Alright, so what you do is take a good pair of snap ring pliers, a longer pair. I could use a longer pair. Pretty heavy duty for the black springs, that's all I run. Or either I run the 2 blacks and 2 whites, always across from each other. So it would be 2 blacks, 2 whites, or all 4 blacks, all 4 whites, yellow, red. It's always got to be across from each other. I take it, I slide it right into the spring like that, relieve pressure, slide it up.
Okay.
And then I take the shoes and I'll find, I had a piece up here, there it is. Piece of sandpaper, and you can look. It ain't really glazing or nothing like that, but I just like to rough it up. Some 120 sandpaper, which that's about shot. Let me get some new one.
Alright.
Take the shoe, 120, nothing special. I don't really know if this is the correct way to do it, but I just try to deglaze whatever's trying to glaze. Just rough it up a little, that's all. Like so. Put some scratches in it, no big deal. Right in there as well. I put the lid on. And if you have one of these Harbor Freight specials, it goes by seconds. It don't have minutes. It's 380 seconds. I always have the heat on because heat cleans better. And I press on, and I wait. But while I wait, I go ahead and scuff up the drum too.
Do you clean any of this stuff with anything?
One is really bad, but if you look at it, you can tell it ain't really dirty at all. I ain't run it much since I cleaned it last time. I can't even get nothing to wipe off on my finger. But the shoes and the bell, they hold most of the dirt because you got grease traps, spring protectors, spacers. It does a good job at keeping everything out. And then trusty dusty can of WD-40. Spray it in the drum. And just wipe it out. I know what you're thinking. It's going to burn like crazy when I put it back together. It does not do that. We'll wait for that to finish up.
What's the difference between like this clutch and the one that's hanging on the wall over there?
So this one is a yard cart clutch in sense, and we'll take it apart because it's shot in here. Completely designed different. That clutch is a needle bearing clutch, so it rides on a bearing. This rides on a bushing and a bushing only, creating drag. But there's the difference. You see how the shoe is?
Yeah.
And the spring is right there, and it's only right there on these shoes. So when the shoe comes out, it comes out at an angle. And basically you can see on this clutch where the shoe comes out at an angle and only rides inside this bell, and basically a certain spot right here on the outside edge instead of grabbing the whole bell. With the Hilliard, you can see it grabs the whole entire thing.
His was a better.
It's just a better grab, and when it does grab, it grabs very hard. Well, that's the way I got it set up.
Well, while we're waiting on that stuff to clean up in that ultrasonic cleaner, let's go over the carts a little bit, see what you got.
This is, I believe, 2004 Phenom. Phenom, what do you want to call it? And I know it's got a serial number somewhere on it.
You don't need the December number.
No, but it can tell you the exact year. The serial number can. Maybe it might be on the bottom, or it may have got knocked off at some point. They probably repowder coated the frame. It's very common.
Well, that car right there is new. He just got that one a week ago. So, but then this one is a what?
A 99. You let me think of it. Banshee.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with the four-wheeler when you look up parts for it. You see, this is no adjustable front end.
Yeah, so that's the difference between these two. Is like these older ones. I don't know how well you can see it in the camera. Just for the people that don't know, these older ones are non-adjustable front ends.
Well,
which you can adjust and play with them.
Slightly. You can play with them. They got little pills for your chamber and stuff, but you come over here to this one and look. I mean, the turn of a wrench and you're changing the whole geometry of the front end. You got your chamber, your toe, your
caster.
Yeah, your caster. I mean, just it's amazing how much you can tune these things and just dial it in for your own body weight. The track you're running is honestly amazing what guys can do with this. I can't do it, but other guys can.
Looks like this thing is done.
Yeah, I'm gonna get it finished up. That heat. Turn the temperature off and get my trusty dusty magnetic parts box. That's just to separate the parts and WD-40 not run all over my toolbox. Get it out. Shoe 1. Shoe 2. Shoe 3. And shoe 4. Sprocket. Needle bearing. And you can see just how well this cleans just by putting it in there. How it's caked with grease and stuff. The WD-40 will take it right out. I mean, it's not going to get it perfectly clean because my solution wasn't perfectly clean. But you can just imagine how hard it is to get grease out of anything, even with brake parts cleaner. And that would work with any needle bearing, honestly. Then the race, same way.
Yeah, I can't get it to focus on that bearing, but maybe you guys can see it.
Like parts. I only put the needle bearing on my finger like that. As I blow out the WD-40, you're not gonna get it all. So. And that's how you get it dirty again. Ain't a big deal. Get some brake parts clean. Good to go. Put it off one time. That's a good measure. So what I like to do is, once I blow them off, paper towel, start letting the air dry some. And it's the same thing with all the parts.
Alright guys, I think you guys get the idea. We're going to get all these parts dried off and finished cleaned up, and we'll pick you up when we put it back together.
was talking about the black springs. I run all black. Here's my other black. And those are all my white springs. And you probably think they're black too, but they have that tint of white. All the springs are come like that. Here's the fun part. Because I got to remember exactly how. I just started running the clutch in the configuration I'm running. I'm trying to remember how. Okay.
I can't believe you kept the instructions.
It's the first time for everything. No, these are good instructions. They give you a good information. See, I was running outboard mounting of the sprocket, where the chain is most of your yard carts is away from the motor. The drum's up against the motor, chain's on this side. Well, when I just started running it, the chain's the closest to the motor, and the drum's on the opposite side. Telltales, I've never found proper information, but they say it's less strain on your crankshaft running it that close to the side cover of the motor. So that's what they say. I don't know. That cart's just set up to run that style, and that's how I kept it. Back to what I was doing, because I actually need to look at that one more time. Inboard mounting. What I'm looking for is the shoe leading. So I know, looking at this piece, that the toes need to go that way, or the leading edge of the shoe needs to go that way. Let's place them in here, like so, and get dusty snap ring pliers. And the same thing as taking the springs out. Put it in there like so. You're probably about to see me strain a lot. Actually, by doing this, I can keep those other two shoes together so I ain't gotta squeeze them. This is where I was saying the longer snap ring pliers come in handy. So those black springs are about 3,600 RPM engagement speed. It wants to. There it goes. Alright, now that's together. Drum. Alright, now we start putting it back together. Save the bearing. Actually, while I'm here, I'll go ahead and do this. bearing, you do not put a lot of grease. It tells you somewhere up here. Somewhere. Lube the needle bearing with small amount of high temperature bearing grease. When they say small amount, they don't mean just a little bit. I'll show you. I don't want to take about that much. I start walking it around. Get in the grooves at least. I'm taking just a little bit more, not much, and put on the inside. I'm not saying that's a proper amount. I'm just saying that's worked for me so far. I'll start putting it together. And like I said, I just started running this configuration, so I need to look at the instructions a little bit more before I got it 100%. At least the spacers. We'll come back for the other stuff.
You just
What I didn't take off earlier is this right here. That spacer. And you can see it's cut out right there. I don't know if you can really see it that good.
might have to go over there to the light.
Yeah, I might have to.
Do something.
You see it's chamfered in a certain way to go on the crankshaft. It only goes up there one way. I don't know if you can really see it in there.
Move your finger.
But I never clean it because
Hold on, back up.
it stays away from everything. I never take it off. This washer right here. You put it up there. Basically, another spacer for all the shields. And this is where it gets hit. Install bearing race. Makes sense. I miss running the other way because it was so much easier to remember to take off. Alright, install bearing. And that all goes in a pretty good order. Putting it on the crankshaft, I try not to touch the crankshaft and needle bearing, even though it never works out for me. Now the drum goes on. I need to get the chain started because my chain guard does not allow me to do it any other way. Like so. Chain guard on. I'm pretty sure it's just spacers. Yeah, it's all another spacer.
Well guys, I think that'll do it today. We had to get the motor and slide it forward, tighten up the chain, tension the chain a little bit. But other than that, we got the clutch and all back on. Just kind of a little different side of things, the Quitting Time Adventures. Might get some filming of us going racing, stuff like that here in the near future. We're not doing a whole lot of riding in the wintertime as far as side by sides and stuff. Just some other stuff that's coming up is I got a bunch of material and stuff. I'm gonna get ready to build me a roll cage for my X3, so I'm gonna try to film that here in the next couple weeks. This afternoon I'm actually gonna go pick me up a go-kart, I think, anyway, as long as everything goes like it should. But anyway, thanks for watching. Like I said, just another little different side to quitting time. But please like and subscribe in the bottom if you haven't already, and y'all have a good one.